It's our pleasure to share sound stories for Multispecies Justice from cohort 1, which was this year. It took place in August. That's when we started. And it was a 10-week course. So we're really excited to share all of this with you tonight, all of these amazing learning journeys. Okay, I just need to turn off the OK button, because this meeting is actually being recorded. I hope that's okay with everybody. There we go. So, unfolding aliveness. There we go. You can see me on the left and you can see Matt on the right. We believe that unfolding is the poetic force which creates conditions for more of life to reveal itself. And really the work that we've been doing over the past few months with our cohorts has been with sound. So we've been viewing sound as the poetic force. We're doing lots of deep listening, lots of creating, lots of conversations to really reveal more and more and more of life. So just to sort of ground our session with that. And so here we go. You may have seen this image. It's been on a lot of our LinkedIn channel. It's on Eventbrite. You can see that there's some fantastic unfolding going on there with the soil. So there we've got a photo from one of our presenters tonight, DJ. They're all listening with soil. And we feel this is a great image because it really speaks to the community that we're trying to build here with unfolding aliveness. Okay. So just to really set the context for what you're going to hear tonight, this was our learning journey. You can see this meandering river. We had 10 sessions and you can see how we kind of started. Some of the presenters tonight have zero experience with sound recording. Very, very little experience with some of the philosophies that we were working with, and it's been a fantastic learning journey. Those of us who've been more experienced have been helping those of us who are less experienced. And so you can just see there how we started with community and we worked our way through right up to the sound expressions for planetary health. And you can see some of the ideas there. How do multi-species contribute? How do we create and commune with sound? How do we deepen our relationships with sounds? And then exploring some pretty cool concepts, sort of archiving, showcasing, and so on. So it's been quite a commitment from our participants this evening, which is why we wanted to hold this event, to really shine a light on everything that they are doing. That's great. We've got a few more people coming into the chat. This could be a good moment just to say hello again to those of you who have just joined us. Please do put your name, put your location, anything you wish to share about yourself. Maybe you have done sound recording before. Maybe you feel really passionate about multi-species justice. Share and let's get to know each other. This is a community event. Okay. So the sounds that you're going to hear today, whether it's your morning, afternoon, or evening, is very much a relational experience. We have been exploring listening as a process of sensing, not just with our ears, but with our full bodies. Listening as embodied, thinking about deep listening practice and fully immersing ourselves with our places. Listening as forming relationships. So when we talk about place, we don't just mean a geographical boundary, we mean everything. We mean the materiality of the world. How are we relating with all the life forms and the materiality, the geology, the waters, and so on? And that's different for everybody. And I hope that when you listen to the different sound stories this evening, you'll hear how unique, how different they all are. Listening is situational. We've got people from across the world sharing their sound stories. All of their ecosystems are different. And you'll be hearing some sort of cultural references along the way as well. And really the big message that we want to really cultivate is that listening is a reciprocal practice. more listening, less talking. And that's really a gift that we can give to each other, to our places, to the world. Listening as a two-way, three-way, four-way process. Less talking, more listening for planetary health. Okay. I'm just going to stop screen sharing. I'm actually having a bit of problems stopping this, Matt, because I've got the recording button on. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me stop sharing. Sorry about this, everybody. Just give me a moment. Sorry, just having a few technical glitches.
It's a bit embarrassing to go live.
Okay, so while I just try and sort this out, you can see who is going to be sharing this evening.
I'm not in
and where they're
Switzerland.
coming from. Oh, sorry, DJ, you are not. Oh,
No, that's
hello.
not.
Sorry, that's a typo. Do you want to share with everyone where you're calling from?
Groningen, the Netherlands.
Sorry, I'm going to change that slide
It's
straight away.
it's okay.
Okay, the Netherlands. So this is the way it's going to work, everybody. We've got our 5 participants, and they are going to spend about 5 minutes introducing their sound story with you, and it's really up to them. We don't have a set formula, whatever they would like to share. They're then going to play the sound story, so that's when we'll all sit back, listen, tune in, and then there will be opportunities for comments or question and answers afterwards. So please do make use of the chat if there's anything else that you would like to ask or anything else you would like to know. And so I think we're ready to start. Okay, Nick, we're going to start with you, and I'm going to hand over to Matt to now do the introductions. Thank you, Matt. Oh, you're on mute, Matt.
So Nick, why don't you introduce yourself? And I'll put
sure.
the pamphlet you made.
Cool. Kia ora te whānau. Tēnei koutou katoa. Ko Nick toko ingoa. Ko Steve Lane toku mātua. Ko Judy Lane toku whaia. Pākiha toku iwi. Ko Karioi te maunga. Ko Waikato te awa. Ko Waikato toku whenua. Hei kaitiaki ahau. Mo hei mahira hira. Ko au tēnei. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. So, yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, my name is Nick Lane. I've just shared a little bit. I'm here in Singapore at the moment, in the middle of Southeast Asia, in the middle of, the Indomalaya bioregion. But I am from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and it's this experience that I've had, growing up in New Zealand as a Pākehā in New Zealand that has really shaped and opened my eyes to living with and as the world. So what I just said, I just was sending greetings to everybody. I said that Steve Lane is my father, Judy Lane is my mother. As I said, Pākehā is my tribe. Karioi is the mountain that has enriched me. It's she's a special lady who has influenced me in all kinds of ways. Waikato is the river that supported me, and Waikato is also the land that has nourished me and my whānau. And lastly, I see myself as a guardian of curiosity. So yeah, this is me, and therefore greetings to us all. So before I do start share my sound story, I just want to say I've never done any of this sound recording before this course. I'm absolutely filled with gratitude to those who have voyaged with me, Charlotte, Matt for guiding me, and my fellow artists who who were my teachers as well. So never used a mic before, never used any kind of software. So it was all very overwhelming, if I'm honest. And now I am just so excited to play in this space. I feel like there's so many stories out there waiting to be told, and so many experiences and insights to be gained in this process. So kia ora, and so thank you so much. Okay, Matt, over to you.
Let's start. And I think it's about an 8-minute sound piece, so we'll probably listen to about half of it or see how much we can get through, and then we'll open it up to reflections and comments from everyone. Here we go. Sensing Kin in Indomalaya by Nick Lane.
It was late afternoon when I met my friend Udo on the banks of the Webiha River in South Sumatra. The dense, mist-laden jungle expanses escorted us as we voyaged along the meandering liquid highway. Udo, who had grown up in these forests, had invited me into the world as he sees it, a place overflowing with abundance. As we voyaged the banks further upstream searching for red-topped mushrooms, each step seemed to open up new worlds within the larger ecosystem. The earthy smell of damp soil, the dense green of leaves overhead, and the endless chatter from unseen characters high in the canopy. This jungle, alive and pulsing with energy, reached into my senses, awakening something deep within me. Moving through the forest with Udo, I was struck by how profoundly connected he is to this place. He shared stories of tiger sightings, casually pointed out pythons and apes that had been invisible to me. He carried a humble reverence for that which has sustained him. For Udo, the jungle isn't something to conquer or consume. It is his kin, to which he has a relationship that shapes his mind and nourishes his spirit. I felt a longing, a yearning to know this fullness of life, where every sound and scent seemed to affirm the richness of our shared world. Returning to Singapore, I couldn't help but feel some kind of contrast. At first, the urban landscape seemed stark and depleted by comparison. In the city, we often view life through the lens of scarcity, our attention drawn to what's lacking rather than what's present. But over time, I realized that this was simply a different way of seeing. The living world, even here, with so much human intervention, was full, calling out for those willing to slow down, to listen. One afternoon, as I paused to listen on the school campus where I work, the song of the black-naped oriole, or Kanyat Bisar, a bird resilient enough to thrive amidst Singapore's skyscrapers, rang out. In that moment, I was reminded that life is always calling us back to connection. In that moment, I caught a glimpse of the world as Udo might have, as my ancestors once would have, with an awareness attuned to the abundance that is all around us. For over 300,000 years, as hunter-gatherers, our nervous systems have evolved to sense this richness, this abundance. This feeling highlights our relationship to place as a living world that provides more than enough for all earthlings. And here it was again, even in this city, a subtle invitation to rest, to reconnect, to simply be. This shift from abundance to deficit isn't just a mindset. It's something we feel deeply in our bodies. When we feel ourselves as part of an interconnected whole, our nervous systems relax and find resonance with the living world. But when we adopt a view that centers on what's missing, we create tension and anxiety, shaping a behavior that pulls us further away from connection to the living world, away from connection to each other, and away from ourselves, our full and relational selves. Experiences like mine when tuning into the call of the Kanyat Bisara remind me of what our ancestors knew well. The world is inherently full, and so are we when we are aligned to it. In dark times, there must be singing, a song that celebrates this abundance and calls us to re-engage with the living world, not as a resource, but as a relationship. Donna Haraway speaks of staying with the trouble, an invitation to remain present even in moments of discomfort, and to foster kinship with both seen and unseen beings all around us. Here, in tuning back into abundance, we rediscover ourselves as part of a greater whole. We find that what we need has always been within us, waiting to rise to the surface and to awaken a quiet joy. As we listen, as we join this song, we find that abundance isn't something we need to search for. It's here, in the quiet and in the cacophony. As we dance with our family, both near and far, both seen and unseen, we journey together as kin. This is the gift of ecological awareness, a return to the truth that life, in all its fullness, is constantly calling us home.
Thank you so much, Nick, for this beautiful recording. Congratulations on this piece. And I would love to open it up to everyone here. I know we have some comments coming in the chat.
I can tell, Nick, from the last time I heard that piece that you've continued to edit in so many ways, actually. The language, the concepts. It's really gorgeous.
Mm. Yeah, thank
Would you mind?
Sure.
Sorry, go on.
I just wanted to say, yeah, thank you. It's just this whole thing has, I think, opened up a huge level of curiosity to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think what could be really beautiful to highlight at this point is how much you didn't want to record your own voice. And actually, when you look at just under 8 minutes there. Large majority of it was your voice. Maybe you could speak to that process for a moment. What caused this transformation?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think this is like we discussed, like we unpacked, it's a common apprehension about hearing or a discomfort of hearing our own voice, and that's not that's something that I experience. But also, sometimes I just like those of you who know me, once I start going and going and going, and that's been a fear. So but there's just so much to be said, and so much that's been inspired by these sounds. I was torn behind just platforming the multi-species, but also I think the conclusion I came to was the learning, sparked by the group, was these questions. What is being asked of me? What is the learning there? And I, in many ways, landed on the idea that I wanted to share that learning. And as I spoke to that, I think it really so much emerged, so much deeper learning emerged as I reflected and tried to put words to it. Sometimes I think maybe less talking, more listening, but at the same time, sometimes I think it's I'm proud to share the learning that came from that from those sounds. Yeah.
And I don't think that comment was actually before your piece. But I think what I wanted to say was that in re-recording your voice, I know you re-recorded your voice again, and it sounds really crystal clean compared to the microphone you're working with prior.
Thanks, DJ.
Yeah. And so what I wanted to say was I think you really got a good balance here. Like, it was 8 minutes, but it didn't feel like 7 or 8 minutes. It felt like this constant, like I was 3 minutes in and I was like, wow. I just think you used space very well, and you allowed the natural elements to come through. And then when the spoken word, the singing came in the end, I was I
just want to speak to that.
Yeah.
I just also want to just highlight the song at the end for those who don't know. It's Te Reo Māori. It's the words I'm singing is karanga mai, which is a formal calling people onto the marae, onto a meeting place. Then I say aroha mai, so aroha mai, aroha atu, which means it's a Māori proverb meaning love received, love returned. And I think that speaks to the reciprocity that we are seeking with with the living world. And I just want to highlight as well, this journey has been so inspiring, and I really want to share. I'm an educator. I work in secondary schools. I really want to. I just see this as so important to share with younger people in nurturing non-visual perception. And just highlighting, much like I've gone through this course, is just increasing the sensitivity to the non-visual stimuli that's around us, but also just what I experienced is just the expansive quality of recognizing the life that's all around us when we just slow and listen. And I feel really privileged to be in this situation to share this with others. And there is challenges, in trying to move away from, a 3-paragraph essay into sound expressions. But I think that's a challenge that I'm up for.
There's some beautiful comments in the chat, Nick, all for you. Take a moment to read those.
Yeah.
I'm up for that challenge as well. Do we have any other educators on the call? Join
do
the
if you
tribe.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Jen.
Wonderful. Hi, it's Jen. I don't know if you can see me. I'm camping, so I'm roughing it with figuring everything out. Just got the microphone going, so that's good. Nick, great to see you again. Great to hear. You definitely made changes, and it's so much, you've improved so much on it. And as always, the way you say it just really resonates. And as you were saying, as an educator, you have such a potential to impact so many people with this wonderful message you have. So kudos to you. It's wonderful.
Hey Nick,
Thanks,
it's
Jen.
Mirage. I just wanted to say also, like, wow, I was really blown away at how just it's very high quality. It's very high quality, and like I want to see more. Like I want to hear more. And it had just this beautiful personal touch to it. Um, and really, it was it was deep and it was broad, but it was also like personal, which I really appreciated.
Thank you, Mirage.
We have maybe time for one or two more short comments, and then we can jump into the next
I'll do,
one. And yeah,
quick comments. Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause I really like. It's almost like I'm just going into an adventure, and the adventure is opening up, and we're going to start. And I want to go and travel more with your friend into the forest and have adventures, and love to see also some pictures or videos of this. It's such a great start of and at the same time an end of a journey. Like you have, so it's I'm really happy with the whole flow of it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, DJ. Thanks a lot. Come out, bro. Come out. Let's do it.
Could I just introduce Rebecca? Rebecca,
Yes.
you had your hand up.
Hi,
Go
I
for
did.
it.
Sorry, I'm looking for the virtual hand. Hi. Hi everyone.
Hey.
I'm a fellow educator, privileged to have worked with Nick in the past. Hi Nick. I love that. And yeah, I think, you know, we're together in constantly seeking ways for learners to demonstrate their understanding of kind of systems and the complexity of the world and how we're extensions of the land, to kind of change their conceptualization of being with nature. And I'm really curious, thinking a little bit about the pedagogy of this, Nick, and I just think, you know, separation is, I believe, is one of the main causes of the polycrisis. And these sound stories have so much potential to bring us closer. And also I'm a literature teacher and very, you know, conscious of the power of storytelling. So I think that, yes, in terms of giving them a space to kind of share and explore non-visual and non-written kind of perceptions and understandings, but also how can these sound stories be used as a tool to foster compassion of nature and fully get them to kind of reconceptualize our relationship with nature, and that slowing down and leaning in, I think it's so powerful, and it's something we're missing so much in our busy schools. So I just wanted to reach out and thank you all for your work. And Nick, I'll be in touch because I'd love to bounce ideas off you about how we can, no doubt you've already done plenty of thinking, but I'd love to be a thought partner in what this can look like in a secondary school.
Yeah. Very welcome, Beck. It means so much that that you're here to hearing it, and also I just knew that this is you know, this is definitely in your wheelhouse, and I know that you could build on this for sure. Thank you. Kia ora.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
I think we probably have many more comments, but we can save some towards the end. We can stay 20 minutes after if anyone wants to speak about any of the pieces. Why don't we jump to Grow Your Ears, DJ? I think DJ's up next, and I have his website. He's built a website, an archive. So I will share my screen. DJ, would you like to share your screen, or should I share your website? Your choice. Maybe you. Maybe it would be better for you to share it. Just let me know.
Yes, I would think that if I share the screen, it would be better.
I think it'd be better. Then you can speak on what you want to say.
Yes. Let's go with that one. Hello, everybody. Very nice to see you guys. Yeah, this one, and then I need to go to my gosh. So I've been developing a website for the first. I have problems.
No.
Not a lot of problems. Some problems.
If you try clicking the top left with that little, see that little arrow? That one.
Yeah.
Try clicking that. There you go.
Here we go.
So tell us a little bit about what led you to you coming to here, Sound Stories class, and what you've made.
I'm an artist from the Netherlands, and I've been working with soil microphones and making audio walks and creating poetry and art that is often in co-creation with other humans. For instance, we built an art space where we had used the heartbeat of the public and made music there in the middle of nature. So it's regenerating feedback loops, generating well-being, because it's generated a very nice vibe, a very nice experience. And I'm went in this to this project mainly I'm gonna make another soundscape, a sound place, and while working with the soil microphones, I found that doing it together and helping people listen was core to what I do. But I also wanted to put a lot of my thoughts into it, and I'm just going to show you around in the website a bit. Let's go to Blender. The website starts with some simple exercises that I have to and there will be more of these, but spending 50 minutes in nature, drawing the sounds in your surrounding. I've been practicing during the course with AR. There will be a video of that also present, where you can draw on your phone, draw the sounds in the world. And it's changed my whole way of listening to the place and completely opened me up, connecting the visual with the audio. I've been walking while listening to what's behind me, listening to the space that's not in the visual space, and it also brought it up, even made me quite dizzy. And I'm busy with remembering sounds from my past, remembering and realizing that I have been also I'm also a cultural heritage specialist, realizing that we are losing sound and missing sounds that are bird sounds that are not longer around surrounding us, certain insect sounds, certain even electronical sounds, like remember the modem. It's things that are loose. Yeah, so I want to give attention to that. And I don't know what sound is here. Okay. Okay, I will go click to for, and then we go to.
And I've just shared the link for everyone in the chat, so
Yeah.
you can see it as well. It's public.
You can go and see it, explore it yourself. It's not finished, but it's becoming more finished every day. I'm
Wondering, DJ, are those sounds loaded in the compost? It might be cool to show something like that. Yeah.
Yes, I will do. Did I like? I can.
There you go. Oh, you know what, DJ?
Yeah.
Reshare your screen, but with audio. I think we need to hear you sharing with audio. I think then it will play.
Of course.
I was wondering if the sounds of the compost were so small.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sounds that
No, it's quite loud.
can be very, very
Okay. Stop.
very quiet.
I really hate Zoom. Okay.
Reshare.
And share again. Yeah. Then share with sound. Oh. So you're back?
Yeah, try it.
And these are the leaves. These are the these are three different piles of soil improvement material, and they were next to each other, and they completely had different soundscapes, different happenings. The manure was sounding a little bit like slimy and clayey, and the compost was more tick, 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 and I think what are they called? A piss bed, like I don't know the English name. I'm sorry, but the little just kind of different eating sounds, and well, the leaves were almost silent because they were damping the microphone, and but also because there was less life, it was less dense, there was not in the leaf pile, and that all went into this food forest I'm working for and with, and as a soil material, and improving the microbiome, improving the insect life of the compost. And at one moment, this farmer over here, he went to see his compost heap and listened to it, and he was like, "My God, they are alive! How can they be alive?" This he knew that there were insects in the compost heap, and he was like, but he was completely blown away by listening to them, listening to those creatures, and knowing that it was happening all the time while he was just farming there. He was just doing also work just like him. It was pretty cool. Really, a really nice experience.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that your work is your updates on this website are really fantastic. The work with the typography, the imagery. I've put the link in the channel, and I think what's really unique about your project is that you have so many different experiments happening.
Yeah.
You know, it was a different approach than, say, Nick, for example, focusing on a longer story. And if what's really amazing that you've been able to do is bringing in the sense of community with this project, because I mean, there's not enough time to show every single sound, but if you were, I highly recommend you explore this website. For example, Are You Ready to Share Your Ears shows various pictures about you were doing some kind of, you were recording sounds of trees, and then all of a sudden, like 8 people from different age groups, children to older people, started being very curious about these experiments. You have very rich sounds of, I believe, let's see here. I think ducks, bats, and exploring different binaural techniques. So that's just what I want to say. I just want to say great job, and I'm really excited to see what you've made as an archive here.
Please check it out and read the text. Forgive me, some at the moment have not been spell checked. I've been rushing quite a lot to get things done and having something to show you guys. I want to end with some of, let's see, this is a text about losing sounds, and it has, my father played some piano, and just read a little bit of it and then end with a little bit of the sounds, or reading to the next sound. A memory can be locked away in a sound you'll never hear again. The chirping of birds in your garden, the music your parents made, the hum their car engine, the wear of a coffee machine, the sound of meadowbirds, the clicking chain of your bike, the gentle hiss of a cassette deck, the rhythmic taping of a keyboard, the voice of a loved one singing, the mewing of your cat, the sniffing of your dog, the whispers of the waters. The zip of a tent, the croaking of frogs. These sounds weave the fabric of our lives. Thank you very much. This was my presentation of the website.
Congratulations, DJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, really incredible work. It's just beautiful. The website is stunning, and I just love how you can see the community element of it, and it's educational. It's like you're sharing so much information, just opening up a whole new world. Really well done.
Thank you.
And
And
DJ, so cool. It's I love that this I just imagining this, the impact of your learning rippling out, you know, to so many. There's so much there for people to immerse themselves in. I'm trying to figure out, were you like, there was your father playing the piano, and then you were reading, and then you it was almost like you were mixing this thing live, like you know, like constructing this experience live when you moved then to the ducks. It was so super cool. And that line, these sounds weave the fabric of our life. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, thank you so much.
It was all live, basically. I just read the website.
It's really cool how you did that. And any
Yeah.
I will read all the text on the website also. That it will be also a sound play, so people can choose to read or listen, and that's the goal. We haven't been there. It still has to come. Yeah.
DJ, it's beautiful. What I really love about this, as well as the sounds and the gorgeous images, is just how interactive this is. You know, seeing all these like little buttons just makes me want to go and explore it, and little kind of secrets and unexpected moments, all areas of this website. It's very yeah, it's very engaging, and I just love it when you read aloud in your sort of dramatic voice. It's so compelling. Makes me go a bit goose pimply, actually. It's really gorgeous. Really well done.
Thank you.
any comments from the community that's joining us? Just want to make space for anyone who might be new. And we'll still have time at the end if it's better to talk then if you want. Cool. Well, why don't we move on to the third sound story, Mirage. And
Hey everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just quickly introduce myself. So I'm Mara Sheikh. I was really drawn to this course because of the potential of sound to reach people through division, through so much of our world is like very pointed and linear, and I feel like sound can like bring us back to that circularity, to that space of feeling into the unseen. And I had no experience at all coming into this course with audio equipment at all. I didn't know anything about microphones. I had never recorded my voice. Like I'd never done anything like this. And I remember before starting the course, sharing that with Matt and being a little bit nervous, but being really, really excited to go on this journey. And I was just really blown away because Matt and Charlotte, they not only just opened an entirely new way of experiencing sound and thinking about how sound allows us to see the world differently and experience the world differently. But like I felt like by the end of the course, like I'd grown like a new limb or something. Like I just becoming familiar with with how to use a microphone, with working with the audio, actually creating something out of it. It's been a whole journey, and I'm just really grateful to you guys for connecting me to like talents I never knew I had, and like awakening abilities that I wouldn't have otherwise used, I feel. So with that, I want to just, I guess, introduce my piece, which it started as an experiment. This was really, I was just learning how to use the audio equipment. I was just starting to really like work with my voice. And so the sound story really behind this piece is the piece is called Yuga, and Yuga is a cosmic age. It's like a part of a four-part cycle of creation and destruction. And we've had so many conversations about the poly crisis and multi-species justice, and there's of course there's an immediacy um to opening ourselves and really reorienting, but also there's a sort of felt experience for me of, hey, we're part of something much bigger. We're part of something that's unfolding around us that is much deeper than, even our existence here on this planet, that life has kind of this longer yearning for itself. And so that's what the piece is really about. It's trying to tell that story of the creation of life and the oceans, and it's describing that cycle of creation and destruction, of which we're one note, we're one part.
Fantastic. I will share my screen. I don't know what you'll see, if you'll see the participants, but now we can just dive into the sounds, and I have this poster that I made as well that we can see you. Here we go. Ready to go? Okay. I think everyone can see my screen. And the piece is called Yuga. Just want to make sure that my screen is sharing sound. Here we go. Oh, I'm so sorry. Apologies for that. Congratulations, Mirage.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, it was really interesting because I feel like through this piece, I really got to explore a lot of different things. I got to really go into my own heritage and culture, and I was really exploring the space of sound syllables, working with sound syllables, and sort of this, it's kind of a metaphor for creation itself. It's like, like the idea that the word creates, the universe, the sound creates the universe. And so that's really the story that's coming through this piece is, you've got the sound of the ocean emerging after sort of the Big Bang, this explosion. And then you've got the whale song coming through as sort of and actually I didn't really know this, but I guess whales are the longest living, like they're the oldest mammals, I guess, alive on this planet. So for me, it became even more so this kind of um representation of like life's yearning for itself in a way. Um yeah, all in all, I'm really excited about it. And this piece has actually led me to start working more with music. And I'm actually working on my fourth song now. So super excited to see where this journey is going. I feel like it's just really opened up a whole new world.
It's so phenomenal, Mirage. It's absolutely stunning. And whenever I have heard that piece, I've heard it in all of its iterations. It's so embodied. Like I feel like it's a whole body listening experience. I find, whether that's just me and whether there's something about this sound story that moves me. I don't know if other people have felt that, but there's something so incredibly soulful about this. I don't know. I almost don't. I'm grasping for the right words to sort of describe it. I find it very moving, and I had goosebumps as well when I was listening to it, and I can't wait to hear more of the same. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I just say that I think the sound design is top notch on this piece. I feel what you've really done well is the dynamics, starting with a very large sound, which I managed to enable you to listen to twice. This like Big Bang sound, and then you have moments where the energy picks up, and then you have this swelling towards the end. I think the mixing and the attention to detail towards it is really well thought out, and it shows in this piece. I also just want to shine a little light about you and in your story. Like I remember on the week 3 of this, I was wondering like, what field recorder you might be interested in using. And all of a sudden you come back with this kind of little rig of your field recorder and some kind of shotgun mic. And you were just figuring this all out. I believe you use a Zoom F3. I mean, you made some really great choices with what but this isn't just about gear. I mean, you just dove into this. You started collaborating with local musicians in Spain, the drummer in this piece, and the co-producer.
Yeah, yeah.
Light about that process. Yeah.
I got very, very fortunate, and it was really like as soon as I started recording the first initial sounds of my voice, it's sort of like I started connecting with other musicians, and I got very fortunate to collaborate with somebody who I'm actually now working on an album with. And that's my friend Carlos Lopez. He's actually doing the tablas, and he has an amazing ear for like rhythm and sound, and we both just are able to work in this kind of like imaginal realm together and produce something that is exactly like part of a mutual vision. So yeah, I've gotten a lot of help along the way. Like there's no way I could have done any of this without your help, Matt, or without Charlotte's help. Like you guys really, even in terms of just like I didn't even know how to use a microphone. So
But what
and,
the process of not knowing, but then kind of experimenting? Would you say that like by what did you learn in this process of experimentation? I'm sure you've
yeah, I feel like the biggest thing that I learned is to just like keep moving forward. And I actually had some trouble at the beginning of the course because I was kind of like dragging my feet a little bit. Like I was kind of scared. I felt like I was kind of like standing at the edge of this cliff and like, I missed a couple of the first assignments even because I was still in this space of like imagining and sort of like dipping my toe and developing a vision for what this was for me. But really, it was as soon as I took that step of like actually, starting to do the recordings and moving forward with it, and getting your help and actually reaching out to other people who were also able to support me in this journey, it just opened up a whole new world. It became so much bigger than just like trying to piece together a project. It became like, you know, creating community and like meeting people who are in the world of music and learning from them. And I actually went through a move during the course. I moved from living in a very rural place to the city of Barcelona. And my first few weeks in Barcelona, I just started meeting people to have jam sessions with, and I would bring my little audio recording setup, and we would just like play together and record sounds, and it's just been really fun and amazing.
Mhm. So on that note, why don't we move on to our next participant in the Sound Stories from Multispecies Justice class. And who is that? Who's next?
It's Arianna.
Amazing.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm calling you today from Switzerland, from Basel. But I'm actually Polish. My family is from Poland, but we have a history of migration. So they moved to Italy, and now I live in Switzerland, but I always continuously move around. And the project I made has this also this idea of recording from different cities, also different continents. So and also to say my background is as visual designer, but slowly in the last few years the word design for me broadened up. So I'm also a digital designer, and like with this class for me was interesting to enter in the world of listening. And for me, it was really important also as a way to work around anxiety. I noticed just after we finished the class that this is really something that helps a lot for me when I have anxiety, like listening to the environment, having the classes together. And before starting the class, the course, I finished a project around the idea of praising centipedes, and was a work in collaboration with a friend where I was playing a theremin instrument and he was playing synthesizers. So I was already slightly interested in justice, especially for species that are disgusting or not interesting for the majority of people. So those species that really felt repulsive, scary, that brings nightmares to humans. And during the class, since I never had recordings, I also learned how to do recordings, and I was really fascinated by expanding this idea on giving more space and visibility to, as I said, species that brings the idea of disgustingness and ugliness to the mind, and giving them space and existence. And what I did with slowly in the class was understanding that maybe I want to create a digital archive, a place where their voice, the voice of these little non-humans, can be heard. But at the same time, I realized that my interest is looking into cities, so where little species live and struggle with humans. So when I was traveling, passing by Poland, passing by Canada, and then coming back to Basel, there was always, especially in summer, there's always the sound of crickets, the sound of birds, of squirrels. Like in Canada, squirrels, especially in Montreal, they're seen as invasive species. So for most of people, they just steal their food, they break stuff, they create. They're really disturbing. So I thought, what about bringing more awareness of their existence as we are disturbing them, and it's not them disturbing us. So I wanted to share with you my little website archive, and then together with Matt, we can hear the little concerts I made, and the concerts are 30 seconds each, and they are a combination of listening to the sound of non-humans together with the disturbance of humans. So let me see if you can see my screen. Can you see the little white, green, blue website?
Yes, we can.
Okay, nice. So this is just a prototype, and then I decided to take a break in this last month and think if this, how it's shown this website, makes sense for the type of justice I want to bring in. So it's a very simple archive with 4 chosen sound. The first one is flies in concert inside a garbage bin. And then you can hear the sounds of kids, cars, and moms in the park disturbing this concert. The second one is about crickets in concert in Montreal City. The third one is about squirrels complaining in a concert mood while families are passing by. It's actually a squirrel complaining because there is a family passing by. And the last one is worms and worms friends in a concert inside a compost. In Basel, especially, there are a lot of public composts, especially in parks. But I felt there was a lot of disturbance from kids and humans in the park. And yeah, this, let me see if you can hear it from here. Otherwise, we hear it from Matt. Can you hear it?
We can.
Oh, you can. Okay, then I think we can do it directly from my... Okay, let's start with the flies in concert. Then we go with the crickets. And then we listen to the squirrel complaining. And as a last, the worms and their friends. Yeah, so those are 4, but I think in the future I want to collect more from more cities. And the idea is not that it's a scientific archive, so that it can be precisely mapped, but I like the idea of bringing a bit more awareness on what we think it's, as I said before, ugly. And then there's also the idea to have a specific view on each concert and expand more on the stories of each concert. So give a bit more of description of the place, but also on thoughts behind this single piece. And then there is also a little narration of what I just told you, but in a more personal storytelling. So just to give a bit more information also on technical side and how everything was recorded. And the records were done with my iPhone, and as well with the last one with the worms was done with a soiling sound specific microphone, and the other 3 also together with a Zoom H4 Pro recorder. And for me, it's also interesting the technical part of also exploring how then sound is more raw, rough, not so clean and precise. So that's why it's also 30 seconds, because it's not something I would want people to listen for maybe an hour or as a pleasure for long. Okay, that's all.
want to take a moment and actually share my screen because I think Figma just does its like compression thing and I just want to
Yes.
give everyone a sense what the sounds sound like just as the pure audio. But I do think it was cool to show the functionality of being able to click on the thing and click on the website and hear the sounds play. So I'll go over here. Let's go listen on the worms. Everyone here? Now let's go to the flies in the trash can. And then the grasshopper, just to. Squirrel. Thank you so much, Arianna, for this.
Thank you.
And those 4 recordings by themselves sounded, like the way they should. When you're doing a Figma prototype, it's different. Thank you so much, and congratulations on this project. I'd love to open it up for everyone.
If I could just say, I think this is really strong in terms of the multi-species justice perspective, because I really love how you are challenging people to sort of reconceptualize their relationships with certain animals. I remember when you brought the squirrel into one of our sessions and we were like, is that what a squirrel sounds like? And we went off on a whole conversation about squirrels, and then Jen was talking about squirrels, and it was like, wow, these little guys have got a lot to say. You wonder what they're trying to say to each other. So I really appreciate that kind of, the advocacy of this work, this project, to get us to stop thinking of these animals as vermin and creepy and disgusting, but to see them as just part of the ecosystem of life. So I just want to really stress that point. I think it's really interesting work, Arianna, and I think the way that you've presented this is complicated and complex in terms of the website, and like it's from start to finish really strong. Like even your writing at the end in terms of how you're explaining this work is really well done. So it's really quality piece as a whole. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you also just reminded me the surprise about the sound of angry squirrel, that I was shocked because I never heard a squirrel screaming, and I was also questioning if it's a squirrel or something else. And then thanks to the fact that Jen is also quite expert in all these sounds, we could get an answer immediately. I was so amazed by this as well.
Do you want to speak to some of the techniques you use to, because it's quite, I think, unique to try to show both perspectives of the human and the non-human. Are there any certain things that were coming to mind when you went about recording and kind of approaching the space?
Yeah, I remember at the beginning I was just recording with either my microphone or my phone. So at the beginning with just the phone. And then, when we talked together and we realized that actually it's better if I record with both devices, so I can have the angle of recording the insect or the animal and the recording of human passing by. So I would wait in the place and just have my microphone near the source of the animal. Sometimes it was a bit difficult because some insects are, even if crickets and grasshoppers, they are loud. When you come too close, they are very shy. They don't want to sing. So I would sit there and then with my phone in the opposite direction and hope that I will get the sound clear. But then sometimes it's also difficult because then I would get only strong sounds of the car passing by. So I spend also like an hour in the same spot to get both. Because the fact that in certain places like Crossroads, especially in Montreal, there are a lot of crickets living there, like in a little bush or grass. It was really hard to get the crickets and not just the cars. So it's, for me, was another sign of showing how delicate they're making their concerts, and they're constantly disturbed by these cars. So it was also interesting to slowly learn about how to position properly the microphone and which microphone to use, because with the soil specific soil microphone, the sound that we could hear with the worms, that was really incredible. This precise sound of worms eating compost, and how I had to test different one, because some compost they were not in the feeding phase. So some days they're just like they already created all the soil, so they are more resting, and others are just eating because they were just feeded. So it's also interesting to hear this type of differences of sounds there.
Leonie, could you please put your website in the chat? Is that okay? And then we could all have a look. Again, it's very interactive, so it'd be good to click through.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and if you have any feedback later on, let me know. I would be happy to hear. And thank you.
If I could, I just wanted to share this, how much this idea of the ugly or monstrous, like unappreciated species that you're platforming, I love. It brings up for me, this permaculture principle of curiosity around the margins. Bio Akamalafe speaks about the cracks, and going into spaces of unappreciated and kind of unventured into spaces. And I love that you're platforming this. And like I think about on the days where the learners I deal with, that I work with, they don't want to go out to the compost when it's like not to their liking, or going off the trail, where the squirrel is something that is, I don't know, it's unfamiliar. It's not often given this reverence, I think, that you're presenting these species with. And I've loved that from day one of when you've been bringing, since you brought the crickets from Montreal, and it's there's so much beauty in that. So I really love that you've been able to platform that with your work.
Just in the way you decided to process the sounds by leaving them kind of rather rough and almost as if you had just done it from the street, kind of, I think, captures that purity of that, that you don't overly edit or, you know, EQ or filter the sound. So really, really good work. And I'd love to speak to you more about ideas for the website, because I know making a active archive like this can get complicated.
Yeah.
Are you the only one contributing to it? Are there multiple people contributing to it? And I think you do have something about constraints with the 30-second aspect. And I think your challenge is, not challenge, but if you want to go about continuing this archive, is like, how can you create this archive such that it makes it fun and playful for you to go out and do this, you know, and it makes it intuitive, and that it kind of becomes an extension of your creation process. I think in some ways, in that you can keep it going, because that's the component of it. And I think limiting it to 30 seconds, finding an easy way to update it, and getting into a flow to that, it can work. And if you can find a way for other people to share 30-second fragments, I mean, that's big and it's doable. And I think less is more on that aspect of archives. The more functionalities, I know in the beginning you wanted to weave sounds or allow people to play with dynamics, but maybe just having them upload one, you know, with just the two sounds combined, the anthropocentric and the non-human, or human and non-human. So that's just my thoughts on that. I'd love to talk to you more about it. Or if anyone has ideas.
Thank you.
Great. Well, any last comments, or we move on to the last one? I know.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Arianna, I really love like how it really, your piece, the way that you've constructed this, the website, all of it, it really just like any person I feel would be influenced to kind of look at their immediate surroundings a little bit differently. And I love the impact of that.
Thank you so much.
Let's move on to last but not least, certainly not least, Jen, who's been patiently waiting in the car as she's camping. And let me know what I can do to help you, Jen. If you don't even need to show your video, or I think you can. Do you want to give a little background behind the sound story, and then I can help to share the audio? I think you're muted as well, Jen. See if I can unmute. There we go.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're good.
Great. And I think you don't have a video, do you?
I see you.
Okay, because mine says it's muted, so maybe I'm there, maybe I'm not, but you can all hear me, which is good. So yeah, camping, so making it work. I'm a seasonal ranger for the national park system in the summers for 6 months, and the piece here that I did was in relation to working at the national park. So I have lots of ideas, but I definitely catered this to something that the national parks can use. And I had never done this either. This is all totally brand new for me. Wonderful experience. Hadn't done anything with sound equipment. The park had an H4N, so I picked that up and started using it. And everything really evolved through this whole project. But I realized the sort of the message that I wanted to come out for this project was about a lot of people go into our park, into the trails, and they go through the woods, but they don't experience the woods. They're not a part of the woods. So I really wanted to get people to think about being a part of the community of what the forest is all about. So that's what this piece is based on, sort of an immersion idea with the language I use too, to actually ask them to stop and listen and so on. Just a note as you go to listen to it, it's still, I've been traveling ever since our course ended. I haven't changed anything. It is, in my mind, still a draft. So there are some things to think about. When the sound, I haven't had a chance to fix the sound. So you might want to play with your volumes when you're listening to it. The music at the beginning and the end, and the narration is loud. But the animal sounds are quite quiet. So as the music comes in the beginning, maybe turn it up to hear all those animal sounds. When I recorded this was in the fall when all the animals were going quiet. So I actually had to take a bunch of little tracks and put them all together. There's a sound in there, I'll tell you, because nobody knew. Some people said it sounded like the wind. It's actually deer snorting in the forest. So with that, go ahead and take a listen. And if you guys could start it, that would be great.
Absolutely. Just to make sure I start the right one, is it 444? Is that the correct one?
It probably says final on it.
Yeah. I'm using
Yes.
the folder's final, it was in final productions, right?
Yeah.
444 or a mash, which one are they the same?
Good question. I think 444.
Go with 444. Did you have a title or not so much?
Yeah, I came up with a title and I can't remember what it is now.
Give you a title called Awakening. I don't know if that was the title that you selected, but we just, for the purpose of this, there was several words you used. Anyway, that's the most.
We can go with that. Yeah.
We can just go. We can go in here and let's start. Oops.
The inhabitants of the forest are alarmed. A human has entered their space. Experience has taught them this could be a sign of danger. The alarms are sent out by the squirrels and blue jays, resonating through the trees. Why are they so alarmed? The species Homo sapien has for centuries separated itself from the rest of the world. Man and nature, the quintessential phrase that encapsulates this ideology. Man is separate. Man is above. It hasn't always been this way, and in many indigenous cultures, the relationships are quite different. The next time you travel into and through nature, take some time to settle in. Find a comfortable spot. Be silent in voice and movement. Wait 10 minutes. See what happens. When you entered, everything else left or went into hiding. Wait now and listen. Slowly, ever so cautiously, life will return. If you wait long enough, all the forest inhabitants will come back. Then you can watch them go about their everyday lives as we don't usually see them. This is the forest community, the inhabitants coexisting. Listen, watch, experience, learn. We are so separated from it. What can we do to become more a part of this community? A part of the whole. You can end it there.
Absolutely.
I don't think that was my final cut because there was no music at the end, but so that one might go on for a long, long time.
Oh, that's okay. But I think we heard the gist of it, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And yeah, any responses? I just want to, I really appreciated in this piece how you were very careful with the use of space. And you left moments where it was just yourself talking, and that felt like a little reprieve. And then you had, I thought, well-timed when the sound entered back, and it really felt like your voice, the soundscape, the spoken word was all working together and not harmoniously. And I think you sensitively did that. So I'm really excited to see how you will use this in your work for the park. And yeah, I'm curious, have you been recording more since the month, or has it led to more ideas that you might use for future explorations?
I have tons of ideas. I want to set up a whole bunch of things for the national park, a lot of self-guided tours for people to go and immerse themselves into nature. I can't always be there to take them, and as staffing becomes less and less, we don't get to go into the forest enough. So if I can set up things where people can experience these things on their own, that's great. So that's what I'm going to work on when I go back next year. Definitely is to do that with it. And as far as recording more, I've been on the road. I've been where it hasn't been in spaces where there's a lot of wildlife making noise where I can record it. I actually was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and got to do some really cool things with wind. I'm really interested in wind and how to portray it, because you don't just want that awful noise that hits the microphone as a distortion. So I found a bunch of leaves rustling and worked with that, but haven't been able to experiment as much as I want. And I'm actually excited to get home and play with Ableton Live and and actually produce some more, which I haven't been able to do.
Amazing.
Jen, your camera is on, and when you started talking about the ideas, your face changed. You lit up, you know, like it was it's so cool. Excuse me. It's so cool to see you falling into this world. You know, and it's a sentiment I have heard a lot this evening, and it's yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing your work, man. So cool. You've taken me there, and yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
If I can add, your voice, Jane, it's really calming, like really it has a calming effect, but also like it gives the focus on the listening. So it has a very particular effect that it's like a chamomile tea with mate for me. And it makes me want to come and see what how you will do it in your forest. Like I really want to come and experience it with you. Like the listening makes me want to be there, like in person. And I'm also curious how you will expand your research there. Like your national park where you work sounds really fascinating, and how also you want to develop it further. So I'm very curious to hear like how you will how the walking will happen in your forest.
So one of the big things I want to do is actually just something on the national park site app where people can go in. I'll have several recordings, probably about 5 recordings for different places. So I'll guide them to, excuse me, different places in the park. And then in each place, there'll be a recording to get them to engage with the nature in that particular place. That's the first big project I want to do. A really simple one I want to do is in our visitor center, is just have an ambient sound of the forest sounds. There's nothing. So that's a really easy one. That'll probably be the first thing I do. And then to work on that app is kind of my second idea.
An idea that came to mind was like you could have people that are engaging on these walks, and they could just include a little snippet of spoken word that then could become fed into, you know, become a larger composition. If you're interested in making these with Ableton Live, because you do have a softness of your voice, and I'm wondering, you know, does someone else leave some kind of imprint with their small, close experience? There's many ideas that are coming to mind, including the soundscape one, which was beautiful because I want to leave space for everyone. DJ.
I'd love to help with that and advise you on that if you want help for the audio box. I have experience with the QR code box at Lauwersoog National Dutch Park, and I also want to say I'd love to have your piece, everybody's piece, but this one in particular on the website of because you touched on that 15 minutes mark of sitting somewhere, and I like to have it under that exercise. I really feel that this is a great introduction to such an exercise, to be there, sit there and for 15 minutes. And then you can do that also in audio walk and introduce it with this story, and then sit there and then invite people to sit themselves for 15 minutes in nature. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, Jen, I really love the meditative quality of like your voice, and I feel like it is that softness that's so inviting and it's so unobtrusive that, like I could totally see you doing like whole meditative experiences where people sit and oh, I'm getting goosebumps hearing DJ's suggestion and like listening to your voice and hearing your plans for, being that guide for people in nature.
This this whole experience has been it's just so amazing for me. But the technical side of learning how to use all this sound equipment and the Ableton Live, but also like for everything I just heard, for you all becoming colleagues and us sharing our ideas, it adds so much. I mean, it's just such a wonderful platform, and it's great. It feels like it's been forever, and it's great to see and hear all of you and your work again, and to share the ideas. And it gets me. I'm so excited to go back where I can do something more with this, and I definitely want to get opinions, ideas, collaborate with you guys. So again, just thank you all for sharing with me and being a part of this process.
Absolutely. I just wanted to share that I have the same experience. It feels like a month has been so long, but because we work every week. Just for a little, for those that are in the chat for the first time, we typically in the class work every week, and we see each other like every Monday or every Tuesday. And now it's been a month, and as we see ourselves as a community, and we've had an amazing cohort. I couldn't imagine a more open, curious, generous cohort that's just passionate about sound and multi-species and nature. We have an idea about doing a community listening event, like where we just listen and do a deep listening practice, not with our own sounds or maybe with our sounds, but with other sounds we might find inspiring every month, that we could join and just do a deep listening session for like an hour. But we're also very open to ways that we can collaborate. So for example, DJ and Jen, like if you want to include each other's work in various ways, that's the intention of this. And also I wanted to say that if there's any ideas that we have to make us feel closer during the time that we're not in the class, but we have, what's the next evolution of this, right? What can we do in addition to monthly listening, deep listening calls? I'm very open because I think we have a beautiful community that I want to nurture, and I'd love in person in the future to meet you all in a one place or in groups. So that's just what I have to say. If you have any ideas, and we're all in the WhatsApp as well.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Jen. Beautiful. And I have said this, I know, so many times, but your learning curve throughout this whole process has just been so joyful to be a part of. I remember those early days and, feeling a bit unsure, and then look at what you're producing. Just stunning sounds that have moved us all. So, we're super proud of you, and the fact that you're going to continue doing this, perhaps with DJ, like that's just wonderful. Yeah, keep in touch and do share with us what comes from that, because it would be really great to just continue. Like Matt said, it's an iterative process. We're co-creating. Want all of your feedback as well, to stay in touch and keep this going, and obviously welcoming new people as well, so that we can keep growing the community and keep learning with each other. I guess then we've gone a little bit over time. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and for staying with us until the end. I'm just going to sort of formally bring our session to a close. These were the names of our artists on tonight's community showcase event. So I hope those of you who are joining us for the first time, I hope you enjoyed it. It's great to share these ideas with you. We do have a new course starting in January, Sound Stories for Multispecies Justice. So if those of you on the call feel like you heard something tonight that you want to be a part of, you want to try, you want to come and explore and create with us, join the community, then we've got a LinkedIn page. If you want to chat with Matt about anything related to sound art, recording tools, then you can find him there on email or on LinkedIn. And me, I'm in the midst of my PhD, where multi-species justice, multi-species ethics is really key to what I'm researching with at the moment, particularly in schools and education. So please make contact with me on LinkedIn and let's keep the conversation going. We'd love to hear from you. And so that brings us to a close, which every time makes me feel so sad. It's great, but it's also sad because it's like, oh, time's up. Matt and I will hang around for a little bit if anyone wants to sort of stay, hang out, have a chat, ask any questions. But really bringing it to a close. Thank you for your energy and time with us this evening. We're really grateful that we could all come together and share in this way, and we look forward to doing a lot more of it as well. So
while we have the whole class here, does anyone in the community have any further questions about sound and any of the narratives? Work.
Oh yes, wait, don't leave. Okay.
I'll stop sharing.
I wanted to say just as
Hello.
I
wanted to say this would be in normal circumstances without the internet like a moment for cake and drinks.
Yeah.
So I will say cheers everybody and enjoy your cake and
I just want to say you're not alone. Even if the class is ending, we are connected. Feel free to reach out to anyone in the course, set up a Zoom call, share what you're doing. Let's keep the energy going. Drop what you're making in the WhatsApp channel. We'll provide comments. We'll just share and make. So let's keep it going with the energy, and just excited to see where you'll go.
Wonderful. Please. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.